Jungkook agreed to drive her to her office because her hands were injured because of him. No, because he wanted to be with her. Partially, yes. The main reason was he wanted to see what life she had been living without him. On the other side, Wen wasn't that much romantic as the passenger princess that she should have been. And after driving for almost 2 hours, the car finally stopped in front of a government housing complex. Jungkook scanned the whole area carefully. To him, it was decent. We have arrived. She yawned, and right after that, she scrunched her nose in pain. She looked at her bandaged and bruised hands and sighed. I live in the last block. Just follow this lane. Jungkook silently nodded and stopped the car where she told to stop. He wasn't surprised seeing her name in the parking area, but indeed, it made him happy. He chuckled. Feeling proud and reassured, he ran his hand over her nameplate, hanging on the door of her apartment. He tried to put on a poker face for the first time as he was trying to suppress his happiness. At that moment, he didn't want to look like a stupid welcome when opened the door. As Jungkook stepped in her apartment, he felt like looking at an empty canvas. It was clean, with minimal furnishing, and strangely, he could smell the smell of himself in the air. The confused boy followed the lady. Rest here, I have to attend a meeting. Need to get ready. She opened her wardrobe where her formal wares were neatly hung. Jungkook noticed her clothes were all black, or one could say different shades of blacks. Then he noticed her sleeping arrangements. It was something he always wanted to have: mattress on the floor, a number of pillows. According to his idea, the coziness of this setup must be unbeatable. He wanted to jump on the mattress immediately like a child but didn't, as the doctor version of himself stopped him. Jungkook was a wise man. Though he was very happy seeing her so successful, yet the details in that apartment was quite suspicious to him. The details were something he wanted to add in his life. In those years when he used to live with him under one roof, he barely had any friendly conversation with her. Can you please give me a pair of gloves from that cupboard? Jungkook turned his face and found Wen was struggling to put on his socks. For a moment, he was confused. Gloves? He uttered and looked at the cupboard. Are you going to wear gloves throughout your working hours? Do you want me embrace my bruises in front of my colleagues? She raised an eyebrow. That's not a good idea when one is going to attend an administrative meeting. She took her office bag and put a few files inside. Jungkook nodded, following her instructions as he opened her cupboard and scanned the shelves. He found there was a pair of gloves, but his eyes were fixed on the stationery supplies, which were neatly arranged on a shelf. Getting late. She sounded nervous while slipping her feet into the stilettos. With a warm smile, Jungkook looked at her nervous face. It will be uncomfortable. He helped her to put on those leather gloves. Are you nervous? Indeed, these gloves are uncomfortable, she sighed. But I'm not nervous. I'm all prepared. She finally put on a satisfying smile on her face and embraced him. Don't worry, I will come back soon. I have told to prepare your mail, which will be delivered soon. You are the most precious one in the apartment, so take care of yourself. Don't feel awkward. He wanted to ask many questions, but one hug and those small pats on his back by the feminine figure who embraced him made him feel loved and happy. Of course, he let himself cherish those moments. After she left, Jungkook hesitated a little as he knew it would be inappropriate to look at those things in her absence. He closed the cupboard and checked the mattress. He was satisfied with the quality of the mattress. Without wasting a single moment, he lied down and closed his eyes. For the first time, he regretted for changing his perfume. He was tired but feeling happy. He couldn't fall asleep. I was in all her prayer. This stupid girl. She manifested this. He felt overwhelmed. But at the same time, he felt a little heartbroken as he had noticed his gifts being unused. Yet he felt happy as she had taken those while leaving the Jones house. Eventually, he fell asleep. Go, wake up. Feeling his hair being finger combed, he opened his eyes. Hmm? He just hummed and closed his eyes. Dr. Jungkook Jeon, up when I have come back after completing my work. You are in my place. You drove me here. My hands are injured. She thought he might not have recognized where he was. I know. He used his soft, husky voice and shifted his head in her lap. When? How do you want to be loved? She didn't utter a single word, just kept finger combing his hair. Indeed, she was happy by Jungkook's actions and his topic of discussion, but it was obvious that she wanted to be loved in a particular way. I mean, every girl dreams of that. When this is my first time in your place. I don't have fixed scheduled off days, but I promise I will come to you in my off days and pamper you the exact way you dreamt. Please tell me. He sounded guilty. His grip around her waist became tighter. He expected she would stop kissing his hair, but she didn't. I, I would like to be welcomed when I would come back. You would brew coffee for us and we will chat while doing our works. Sometime you will lie on my lap just lie now. I, I would like to be welcomed when I would come back. You would brew coffee for us and we will chat while doing our works. Sometime you will lie in my lap just like now. She felt being choked as it was the first time her dreams, her wishes were getting uttered. She paused for a moment. You didn't tell me how do you want to be pampered. She sighed. I definitely have day offs, but in reality, those are not. Meetings, work pressure. I hate my off days. He chuckled. I'm simple. I believe in physical touches. He raised his face and made her seated on his lap. With a smooth swift, he took off her blazer and wrapped his arms around her waist, like this, right after coming back from work. And
Her tummy growled. He still. They looked at each other. When softly glared at him. You didn't eat. I, I was waiting for you. He tried to justify. Yeah, in your dreams. She glared and was about to get up from his lap when she felt his fingers on her face. He was gently tucking her hair behind her ears. In my dreams, I'm free to do anything with you, and I have been doing that since we got married. He winked, and after releasing her from his grip, he got up from the bed. Van had come back from office, so Jungkook told her to take a quick shower and he went to the kitchen to reheat all the food. He always wanted to do these small things for Van. He always wanted to take care of her. Don't waste your time in front of the mirror. He almost yelled as his Van used to take long time to dress up after taking a shower in her high school days. In her college days, why didn't she use the stationery supplies I had gifted her? Maybe she didn't like those things? Then why did she keep them for all these years? He thought and got interrupted almost immediately as when walked into the kitchen cum dining area wearing a quite old casual t-shirt and boxers. Jungkook was already waiting for her in the dinner table. He narrowed his eyes, seeing her in those old, oversized outfits that seemed quite familiar to him. I'm going to bring the rice. She noticed that the rice wasn't there on the table. How long have you been wearing these old clothes? Jungkook's mood was immediately triggered as he remembered the fabric of those pair of clothes were quite uncomfortable for daily wear. Huh? She turned her face while taking the rice from the rice cooker into bowls. You heard it. His voice was stern. You gave me this. Within one sentence, she justified everything. You were good at taking care of things. This pair of t-shirt and boxers were already worn out enough when I gave you. These are still in good condition. He chuckled in sarcasm. So, on our first dinner as a couple, you were angry because I'm wearing the pair of clothes you gave me, or because I have been using this pair of clothes. Please, make it clear, Dr. John. She put the bowls on the table, maintaining a solid eye contact. I'm angry because I found those stationery supplies in your cupboard when you told me to give you the gloves from there. Why didn't you use those? He asked her. Wen chuckled. How could I throw away those use and throw pens after those run out of ink? Okay, he nodded. What about those erasers? For your kind information, Dr. Joan, I didn't even have the audacity that I could even think of these moments. And as the supply was limited, or what can I say, stopped, I used those gifts in a controlled way. And by the way, one needs to be stone hearted to rub those cute unicorn shaped erasers on paper. Those were my gifts, so I own the authorization to use those. Van was aggressive while justifying everything. Jungkook's anger was subsided after knowing that she had treasured each and everything related to him. He tried to suppress his happiness as he didn't want to look childish. I surrender. I don't dare to eat by myself. She raised her hands. She tried to look cute, but actually, her situation had become worse as she had to wear those fox leather gloves for a long time. It was meant to be. He casually shrugged his shoulders. Do I? He fed her until she finished her full portion and half of his portion of food. He threatened her, scolded her, kissed her in that whole process. After that, when he took the first bite, he chuckled while nodding his head. So it's her, my nanny, who told you everything about me. Oops, I got caught up. She bit her tongue. So, Mrs. Van Jungkook Jeon, she's the one who told you everything. He face palmed. No, only what you like, she happily said. Like? He raised his eyebrows. Dr. Cook, even in my wildest nightmares, my subconscious mind couldn't include your existence in my life. Probably didn't dare to do so. I decided to compromise, and all I wanted was your smell. Your nanny would never tell anything about you, but she loves you. She cherishes you like a mother. I asked for her company for shopping for my home, and she chose only those things that were familiar to her. The scent you used to use, the detergent. That day, she dived in the lane of memories and shared those small details. Probably once or twice you shared with her on a casual day. Hopefully, she remembered and shared with me. When chuckled. No matter how much I work on my investment and saving skills, you will always be the most expensive to me to afford.